Yo, what's going on, world? It's your boy Najee from Cigar Talk, and today I got a very special guest, man. Seated to my left, hey, this legendary shit. Y'all know I usually bring the young boys on here, but this is legendary talk right here. I got the legendary DJ Drama.
My guy.
What's up, my brother?
Poppin', homie.
How are you, man?
I mean, I'm, in Philly, yeah, they still call me Youngboy.
Yeah, young boy.
Old head,
Philly,
young
Philly.
boy, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
It's kind of crazy though, man, because I've been listening to your tapes for so long, like, you know what I mean, and to see you like still relevant in this era, like, what's the key, man? What's the key to the transcendent eras?
I love what I do, man. Like, I called this album I'm Really Like That, just in a sense because I've really put on for the culture for so long, and to really like just to be at the forefront and to like not be afraid to get my hands dirty, you know what I'm saying? Not be afraid to go in the mud and like touch the people and see what's happening. Like it could at this stage in my career or at this point, like I could be very easily like comfortable and not do some of the things that I do to get my hands dirty and everything. But for me, it's like, just the way I've always approached it. Like it's that was key for me early on. Like one of the things that I told myself when I first like quote unquote got popping or like was like, oh, okay, I'm here, was like, yo, all right, you got here, but like, how do you stay here? Like relevancy was always a very important factor to me, you know what I'm saying? When I just was study the game or just what I wanted to accomplish and everything. And it was just like, to have a career of 20 years and, in a sense, like, arguably be more relevant than I've ever been, you know what I mean? It's like, it was quite the accomplishment. Like, damn, I did it, and I believe in manifest destiny. So I believe the things you put out into the universe are what comes back to you, you know what I'm saying? So just with that alone, how I attack things, it's like, yo,
So with that in mind, like the relevancy part, like you being cognizant of trying to get that, right? I want to stay relevant.
Absolutely.
You've always been one that put on for young artists. That's one of the reasons I respect you as an OG.
Yeah.
You ain't never been one of the old guys hating on new shit. You always was a part of that. Is that something like you just like it and fuck with it, or it's just like?
Yeah, I mean, it comes from like mixtape culture, really. Like even early on as a DJ, like because of the mixtape DJ or what mixtapes was, like I had this like addiction to new shit and like being ahead of the curve and what have you. So when I think about like hip hop, like I always wanted to be somewhat ahead of the curve. And when I got into an executive position or an A&R position, it was just using that same like approach, just to sign a new artist, working with new artists and things of that, and like I'm at the top of the food chain, and it'd be very well easy for me to just call the guys that are the biggest in the game and like make records or do gangster grills with them. But I think the thing that people respect the most about me is that like I use my platform to work with new artists and to like create new waves and be a part of new movements. And it works both ways, you know what I'm saying? Because when those artists break and it happens to be during a period where they're working on the gangster grills or doing the gangster grills, like, it makes me look just all that much. It makes me look all that much like, oh, Drum, again, knew what he was doing and was a part of that. So, I haven't changed. I haven't changed the formula. It's just advanced and got wiser through the years.
Right. Tell me about, because I didn't get a chance. Usually I get to hit an album. I was trying to chase cat all day to get the album. It was a little crazy, but. Tell me about the difference, because we know you as the mixtape god. You know what I'm saying? And you ain't dropped quote unquote an album in a little minute. What's the difference for you, just in terms of creating like your approach to mixtapes versus this album?
It's my album. It's with my name on it. So I just approach it as like trying to tell my story of like where I'm at in my career and in my life and my journey. So. I'm pretty proud of this album. I feel like it's my best body of work since Quality Street Music, which was an album I did like damn near a decade ago. And I'm in a great space, like within life, within my career, you know, with everything, with my family, with my health. And it was like really just really, you know, I named it I'm really like that. I did this record with Jim Jones, Fab, and Benny the Butcher called Forever. And in that record, you know, Jim says, you know, I'm really like that. And I felt like that was an amazing title for how I felt. Right. You know, because there's been times when I feel like I've been looked at like the underdog in some senses. And it's like, you know, I'm not in a position of speaking politically correct anymore. Like, yo, for what I've done for the culture and for what I've given the people and for what I've given the hip hop, like niggas can't.
Talk that shit. Yeah.
First, niggas can't see me. Second of all, like, don't ever question about what I mean to hip hop. Like, you know, how many classic mixtapes will we not have if it wasn't for DJ Drama? You know what I'm saying? How many, you know, artists have I not introduced to the world or been a part of, or, you know? So with that being said, it's like, yeah, I'm really like that. It was the most potent title I could think of.
I like that. Shit, how do you determine like records or who you gonna do a project with? Because now, it's like you say, this probably the hottest, like, you know what I mean? You just came up a Grammy win, everybody hitting you, do the Gangsta Grills. Like, how do you decide, like, all right, I'm filtering through everybody, I want to work with you? How you think?
I'm pretty open, you know. A lot of times I get the call, you know, and if it makes sense, I just, you know, I rock out, you know what I mean? I'm definitely a workaholic, so, you know, you know, I've been blessed to get some really dope phone calls recently of people who want to work on projects for the most part, and you know, I just like I pay attention to, you know, what's happening around me and everything, and like, you know, I try to put it in a good space of when projects are dropping and keep it consistent, but also making sure that, you know, the brand stays in a space of continuing to like elevate.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like that. Like outside looking in, the elevation, I can see it. One of the dope moments for me, I'm a big NBA Youngboy fan. Why be better?
Yeah.
Man, you got the I got a family joint.
Yeah.
Yo, tell me about that. Like, what's it like? Cause I watched the Rap Radar interview with Youngboy recently, and he kind of said like he always wanted to do a drama project, like that meant something to him. Hearing your voice, what was that like to kind of tap in with one of the hottest young artists in the game and kind of work with him in that way?
That shit was dope as hell. You know, I'm a Youngboy fan. I know what Youngboy fans like, how insane they are about his music and his work, and you know, to have jumped on that project, it came together really last minute. I'm not gonna lie, like I got a call, you know, literally like probably the week of, and you know,
y'all finished that in the week?
Yeah, and Youngboy, like he said, you know, like when he thought about having a host, he was like, it was a no-brainer. Like he grew up on my voice and, you know, hearing my voice on tape, so he wanted to reach out to me to do it, and I was 100% in. You know, I remember being like a little nervous at first, only because like I was dropping Jeezy's project and Snoop's project around the same time, and I was like, you know what, like, fuck it, let's just like go full throttle, like let me just fuck the game up, coming off a Grammy win, and just like, you know, flood the streets like I used to, you know. And Youngboy, like, it was crazy. I mean, like, I was getting text messages from my daughter like, oh my God, tell your dad, like, God bless him for this YB, and like,
the kids going crazy.
Yeah, so, you know, just with that, like, you know, introducing me in a sense, like, you know, I'm sure some of his fan base is familiar with me and some of them aren't. So, you know, it just kind of continues to elevate the brand, and when others see like me working with Youngboy, people like that, it just opens up those many more doors for people that want to, you know, do Gangsta Grill projects.
Yeah, for sure. Another one, obviously, we got to talk about the Grammy when you and Tyler, man. I ain't gonna lie, that one fucked me up though because that was so unexpected. Like Tyler's in a league of his own. He just came off Igor, which is like a singing joint. So I'm just like, all right, Tyler in a whole different bag. And then he came back with the rap, like hard beats, boom bap. What's the creative process like with Tyler? Like, cause I know y'all sat, cause I heard him say y'all did that, y'all sat for about a year, like kind of creating that. What is the process with somebody like Tyler?
Well, first I want to say, like, I think it was because of the success of Igor and him winning a Grammy for Best Rap Album that he wanted to approach Call Me If You Get Lost the way he did, seeing that, it was more of a melodic type of sound and everything. And he, like, when we first sat down, he was like, yo, I really, I want to remind niggas I really rap. Like, I really spit, And for him, he grew up being a huge DJ Drama, Gangsta Grillz, mixtape fan, just in general. And I think for him it was a dream come true to work with me or to have a Gangsta Grillz project. And like, he's right. Like we worked on that for about a year. We had multiple sessions where I would go in and kind of like just like do what I do on the music and put it all together. And he's like a one man musical genius, where he's just like, from putting the lyrics to the production to bass guitar, keyboards, drums, like he really does it all. And so in a way I felt like I just was an instrument in his masterpiece. A lot of times when I do my tapes, I normally like sit with artists and go over the music, and then I'll go in my own zone and kind of knock out like my vocals. But with Tyler, I the way he wanted to approach it, and I was totally open to that, just because I'm such a fan of his, was literally being in there with him during the process of me doing my vocals. And he would just like he would let me do my thing, and then he would stop and be like, say we all got our toes out and we eating French vanilla ice cream, and I'd be like, we all got our toes out, and
he would tell you
we eat French vanilla ice cream, and then he'd be like, oh my God, that shit's crazy. So like some of it, even the words were things that were inspired by things he said, or even outside of that, just the things that I was saying was based on conversations we were having in the studio during the making of it. And shout my brother Lake, like when he came to the second session and he heard the music, he was like, yo, y'all gonna win a Grammy for this. So to come full circle and for us to like, and it was some stiff competition. It was J. Cole the Off Season. It was Certified Lover Boy. It was Donda. It was Nas, King's Disease 2. And we brought it home, and it was like, damn, I won a Grammy for like a mixtape series that I started 22 years ago in the Fourth Ward. Like, and now here I am with like one of them gold trophies.
I seen you at Dreamville when you was doing the interview with Wayno, Rob, and Gia. Shout out to them. You got the news on the spot.
On the spot.
How does that feel? Does it feel? Does winning the Grammy feel like you thought it was gonna feel? Is it one of them moments that give you like a?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't get a chance to walk up on the stage and give an acceptance speech or anything, but it was even a better moment for me because, being at Dreamville, it was like I was there to do a DJ Drama Gangsta Grillz set with Wayne, Jeezy, and Tip. So it was literally a full circle moment for all that to happen in one day the way it happened. And then like just it kind of like put my whole career in perspective of, my beginnings with those guys to where I am now with Tyler. So it was fire. It was a fire moment. And then like, even this year at the Grammys to, be a part of the Hip Hop 50, it was like, it's like wow, as a kid growing up in Philly, just trying to get my name on a flyer, like the things I've accomplished, it's it never fails to just like to amaze me. You know what I mean? Because I didn't see any of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch gears a little bit. I want to talk about. I seen Don Cannon on Mav Hoffa show. shout out to Mav.
Shout out my brother Mav.
And He said it was funny. I didn't notice. He said that he was like you and him, y'all was like sneak dissing each other type shit with the vocals and all that.
Yep.
So he told his perspective, like, they used to the snakes on the plane, nigga said, yo, that really hurt me, whatever. What was that moment? Because it's just so dope to see y'all now, you know, doing the generation now, y'all working together, big moves together. But what was that moment like when y'all was, you know, the competition part of it?
It was, you know, it was tough, like, because, you know, like, people don't realize, like, when you start out in this hip hop thing, like, you know, me and Cannon was literally best friends from at 18, 19, you know, and we was doing this music shit and DJing like just off the strength and the love. And like when we first got successful and we first started like making money and everything, it was like it was new for us. And then, you know, we went through the raid and we had some differences based upon like some other people in our crew. It really wasn't even, you know, about me and him at the time, but you know, we just had a difference on opinions on how we was running the affiliates and what have you. And Cannon decided to, you know, step away. And you know, I wouldn't say we were at odds, but we weren't seeing eye to eye for a couple years. And in between that time, you know, when we would do mixtapes, like we would take little shots at each other. So they got it wrong on Math Hoffa. Like I think somebody said it was the Fab tape, but it was actually Gucci the movie. And I said like, I used to be Samuel Jackson because I had too many snakes on my plane, but now, I'm Jack Nicholson because I'm shining on you niggas. Yeah. And yeah, you know, we would just like throw little jabs at each other. And like when he went and did Trap or Die 2, like, you know, he was shooting back and what have you. And you know, I mean, it's a competitive sport. It's hip hop. You know what I mean? But like. It's like brothers having a difference of opinion. Like, you know, through it all, we were still brothers. And then, like, when we kind of came back together, you know, we laughed about it. And, you know, to this day, we laugh about it. And it's funny he spoke on that because no one really knew that. Like,
right.
that's not something we, like, really publicly ever talked about. You know what I mean? So for that to be part of the conversation and, like, I've seen people since then like, yo, I never like, and people know those tapes and know those vocals like so well. Matter of fact, shout out to my man CEO Trail. Just recently we were in a Sunny Digital studio session and CEO Trail was there and I was breaking it down to him about that, and like he literally like knew those tapes like and the drops word for word. So when I told him that story, it blew him away. Like, yo, oh my, I had no idea this. When you said this, you was talking to Cannon, and when he said that, he was talking to you. So it was like, you know, looking back on it is, you know, it's something to laugh about now because, you know, we obviously came back together and started Generation Now and have been like, you know, incredibly successful.
Man, talk about that a little bit because, you know, you're wearing two hats, right? Like you still actively doing music, but at the same time, you know, you're a music executive doing this thing. Obviously, one of your big acts and the nigga revolutionized the culture, Lil Uzi.
Yeah.
Tell me about the first time when you like seen them and knew like, oh shit, all right, this is like something.
Cannon brought Uzi to the table. He had taken a trip to Philly or went to Atlantic City to do a gig. He was driving through, listening to Power 99, heard Diamond Cuts playing some Vert. He called up the station, asked who that was. She told him there was this new artist she had been working with. Cannon wound up getting in contact with Vert. He came back to Atlanta and was like, yo, I found this kid, Lil Uzi Vert. And I never heard a word, and I was like, yo, let's do it. Like, you know, we had missed out on a couple of artists previously, and I was like, yo, I don't want to miss nothing else. So
hold up, so you just took it because off of his word? You
off the strength. I was like, yo, run it. Like, if you say it's hot, I'm in. Yeah. First time I met Vert, I was on tour with Khalifa. He came to see us. He came to visit me in Lake on tour. We was in Jersey at the time, and he came on the tour bus and like first thing he did was like crack a joke about my jeans or some shit, in pure Uzi fashion. But he always had it, man. Like he knew he was gonna be a star. Like he knew his vision, and he was on a mission, you know. And we was just components in his mission to help him get to his goals. You know, in the direction that he wanted to achieve them, and we allowed him to you know, stand on our shoulders to get there faster than he may have without us, you know. And you know, just the way, you know, like my studio, Mean Street Studio, was a key component to, you know, his success in Atlanta. Just the people he was meeting. The first time he met Thug was at Mean Streets, you know. It was just a real hub for hip hop, you know, at that time in Atlanta. And, you know, Cannon was very instrumental in his sound and working together. And Lake, you know, literally, like, you know, was managing Vert, and, you know, like, just doing so much for him on the business side of things, as well as like on the touring side of things, and turning him into a real, you know, hard ticket touring artist, you know what I'm saying, which was very key for him and who he is, and, like, you know, and for any artist, you know what I'm saying, I think that's key, like being a hard ticket selling artist and what have you. And that's something that, you know, we take pride in, of having artists that, you know, can go fill up them rooms of 10, 11, 12, 15, you know, 20,000.
Yeah, for sure. John, like a lot. I like when you start feeling yourself and talking that shit. Obviously, Uzi got the Just For The Rock record that was stupid, crazy.
Yeah.
You say you felt like that replaced Dreams and Nightmares. Everybody was on your head.
Yeah, it was on my top. they left out the part where I said this year. I was like, yo, this year. Yeah. I Just Want to Rock is the new anthem for the Eagles for this year, and everybody looked over that, and then it turned into a.
I ain't hear this shit part either. I was like, yeah, I was in my group chat.
I said this year, like, Dreams and Nightmares cannot ever be replaced. Like, it's a phenomenal, you know, historical hip hop song, but. You know, shit, I didn't know my opinion mattered so much, so shit turned into a whole thing.
I was on TMZ, everything, man.
But, you know, it was a fun time. Like, you know, I didn't take it too serious. Like, it was all in the name of fun and what have you. And, you know, Meek is, you know, one of the most dominant figures in Philadelphia hip hop history, and Uzi is the same, you know, so. It created an incredible mashup. I don't know if you've heard it, but it's like there's a Dreams and Nightmares, I Just Want to Rock mashup that's super fucking fire. So, yeah, but I mean, there's no denying, like, I Just Want to Rock is a fucking smash hit record.
When you get records like this, like, you hearing it before everybody else, Uzi send it to you, you got to clear it, all this shit. Is that one of the things that you know, like, oh, nah, this is one of them ones, or you just put it out and let it be?
It was, it just kind of, it just caught traction. Like, you know, we started looking at the numbers and the research and was like, oh, this record is moving. Like, you know, as a 45-year-old hip hop head, like, when I hear a record with 12 words on it, like
crazy,
like 3 bars, like, you know, I'm not looking at it like, oh my God, this shit's about to change the world. But I think that's the fun and the love of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not knowing as much as I know, you know, and letting it translate the way it's going to translate. So, you know,
I'm 34. I was in here trying to learn the little moves and shit.
Yeah, I can't hit them, but you know, I love it. I mean, you know, it's Uzi's, and, you know, he's back hotter than ever, and you know, I love to see it.
Tell me about what it's like as a label executive having to deal with the hardship of artists, right? Like, because obviously we're seeing the great moments, the big moments. You guys persevere, but I know there's definitely moments where somebody like Uzi, who's outspoken, he'll come out and be mad at the label and say shit like, yo, I can't get my music out, or blame you or Canon, or whatever the case is. How do you as a label executive kind of get past that part of it with the artists?
I just roll with the punches. You know, it comes with the territory. You know, the first thing artists a lot of times want to do is point the finger in someone's direction, and in that case, like the finger got pointed at us. You know what I mean? And it's like you don't want to. It's touchy because like I don't want to go against my artist because his success is my success. You know what I'm saying? So I only want the best for him. So I'm not gonna come out and like in a sense get into a back and forth with somebody who I've seen like come up and have helped nurture and watch become this successful superstar. So that's the position you're in. You gotta, it's almost like having to be bulletproof. You know what I mean? And like have thick skin and being prepared to take the social media commentary and everyone's opinion and pointing the finger and blaming you and everything. It's like that's part of what you sign up for. Thankfully I'm somebody who has thick skin, and it's like I've been through it enough times to know how it goes. They hate you, then they love you, then they hate you, then they love you, then they hate you again. You know what I'm saying? So you just gotta ride it out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like me, Lake Cannon, like we've always done good business. We're stand-up guys. I've been through various, no pun intended, dramas. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been able to make it out on this side of the field of the coin. You know what I'm saying? So when that happens, you just got to buckle down and be prepared and be able to show the world and prove to the world, like, this is who I am, this is who we are. And, at the end of the day, like, we want nothing but the best for all of our artists and for everything we do. So, it was at a time and a space where when that was going on, we were also helping cultivate and nurture Jack Harlow's career. And, Jack was very open and, was very adamant about waving the Generation Now flag and waving the DJ Drama flag. And when Jack's success hit, some of the tide started to turn and some of the narrative started to turn, like, oh wait, maybe these guys do know what they're doing, and like maybe they aren't the bad guys. You know what I'm saying? And so I salute to Jack for that. You know what I mean? And a lot of what Vert was saying or his feelings, like that happens every day with artists and their labels. Yep. It's just not always as vocal or as public. You know what I mean? And it's like in our situation it was, but like I'm not one that's gonna go on the internet and fight with my artists. Like I'm never gonna do that. You know what I mean? So even when I know that the narrative may be being painted, as we're the bad guys, and I think time has shown like that narrative was false. Like, we're me, Cannon, and Lake, we're three stand-up dudes who, started this rap shit from, humble beginnings, and you know what I mean? We put on for the culture and going to continue to do it.
Nah, for sure, man. John, tell me, you done work with everybody, nigga. Like,
for sure.
I remember that dedication to mixtape when that first dropped. Like, you got classic tapes, you done work with everybody. Is there still anybody on your list right now that you like, man, I still want to get this done before it's all said and done?
Yeah, there's a lot. Brent Fires,
ooh,
Kendrick Lamar.
I love Brent.
Man, I would love to do like a SZA Gangsta Grills.
Ooh, I like that. Maybe an R&B bag too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Black Thought. That's a definitely 360 moment for me. It's a bunch, man. And it's always when it comes to the new artists. Like I always love working with like the new kids on the block. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, but definitely like there's still some key projects and some people that I would love to get on the Gangsta Grills Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Drum, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if it's far-fetched or not. I don't know. But the culture, and niggas been saying this because, listen, I just seen Drake and Yachty. They did the interview together, and Drake was
I knew that was coming.
It got to, because but this is not even trolling or not. It's real shit. Drake said he was thinking about retiring, right? He said, I'm thinking about it. The thought has crossed my head. every hip hop fan that's tuned in with this culture wants a rap Drake project. That's what niggas been asking for. And you the nigga that we think of if we talking about hitting them real bars. Obviously, you and Drake have a complicated history. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Is that something that you
we in a
see?
Good space.
Could you foresee that coming? Like,
I mean, when it comes to like light-skinned niggas talking that shit, like I don't know if there's two better light-skinned niggas that talk that shit than me and Drake. So, you know, with that being said, two light-skinned niggas talking that shit on one project.
We need that. We need that.
We'll be pretty fire.
Yeah.
We'll be pretty fire.
Man, I like that. Lastly, man, I know we got to wrap up. We got to get to this listening to the project.
Yeah.
Tell me, like, you know, as an exec, there's a lot of young artists that watch this show that are like, man, I'm trying to get on. I know I got some fire shit. I don't know what to do, how to maneuver. What advice can you give the youngins that's, you know, trying to move up and grow their career?
You know, definitely study the game, man. You know, it's there's an abundance of books, autobiographies, memoirs. You know, there's an abundance of documentaries to watch. You know who, you know, what direction you want to go in. Like, you know if you want to, you know, if you want to go into, like, you know, being a record exec, an A&R, you know, someone who does media, you know, on the artist side, like producers, DJs, and then just like, you know, like utilize your resources, you know, and I'm one that believes a lot of times, like, especially for the youth, you know, instead of like, you know, sometimes I get random phone calls from people and they're just like, yo, I got your number from so-and-so and I just want to send you some music, or, you know, I want to see how it could work. And I'm like, bro, like when I was coming up, I couldn't just call Jay-Z or Funk Master Flex and be like, hey, I'm DJ Drama, like I'm the shit and I need you to check me out. And even though I turned out to be the shit, and I'm sure they may, those times those people may call me, like they may be one day be in my position. It's like, before you go and do it that way, like look to your left, look to your right, and like look at the people around you. Like there's a young budding, you know, manager or producer or, you know, marketing genius like in your sector that you can create and build a movement with before you necessarily go to the big dogs to try to get on. Like make it in a space where the big dogs want to come to you, you know? Like I created such a movement, such momentum that I had everybody on my line, you know what I mean? And I was at a time because I was hustling, I was grinding, you know, and I did a lot of legwork. I handed out a lot of free mixtapes and, you know, made a lot of phone calls to get on people's radar, and it took a lot for, you know, those people I get 1,000 of those a day, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and I try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt or the open ear, but it's like it's damn near impossible. But at the same time, while you're doing that, also know that like you can create a movement with the people around you and come up and like be in that position where you might not necessarily even need the big dogs, because you know you've done so much and created this empire of your own that, you know, you can show the world that like I'm the shit. I'm really like that.
I love that. That's a fact, man. Last question. I seen Fabio say he was talking, he got a Gangsta Grills coming up or something. I'm a New York nigga, man. What's up with Fabi, man? What we doing?
It's coming. He actually just put out a snippet today of a record that we have on the project. And, you know, me and Favi went to the DR for a couple of days. We vibed out. We worked on the tape. You know, it was a vibe. You know, we wanted to get away and just like get some energy. And I was in there like, you know, talking my talk on the records, and you know,
DR talk different.
Yeah, he was in there. We was in there recording. You know, I had the shrooms. You know, I was taking chocolate every day, and like, you know, we would go out on the boat and just have a time. And yeah, like I'm looking forward to that one. You know what I'm saying? Favi is definitely like, you know, one of the important and new voices of New York. And I think this Gangsta Grills with him is definitely, you know, when we talk about quality street music, like it's definitely gonna be them ones.
Man, I love that. Shrooms and DR. That's the name of the project. You know what I'm saying? Shrooms and DR. Nigga, I need that.
That's hard.
Yo, listen, I appreciate you, John. Thank you for your time, man.
Absolutely. Congratulations to you too, my brother, and everything that you're doing, man.
Man, dope episode of Cigar Talk. I hope y'all caught these gems. We got the legendary DJ Drama.
Yeah.
We out of here.
I'm really like that.
Yeah.